Greetings of peace. My name is Ryan Hotep, broadcasting on behalf of 13scienceastrology.com. That's the number 13, science plural, astrology.com. When I first put out this information pertaining to the reptilians being the real Illuminati that, most of you guys call the Illuminati, being basically a group of extraterrestrial reptilian species of beings, it got a pretty good response, but it's still some people out there, and they're mostly Americans because, like, most Americans, really, to be honest with you, are just dumb. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. Like, most Americans are dumb, and the reason why they're dumb is because the media here is just totally dumbing them down. They don't believe in alternative sources of media. They only listen to what comes on CNN, and if it's not coming through CNN or, like your major news sources, Fox News and things of that nature, people tend to just disregard information that isn't broadcasted through the media system, which is totally controlled and ran by actors, by the way. But anyway, so most Americans are dumb. They basically made mockery of the information, some of them saying that, oh, this guy's nuts, he's putting out this information about some aliens controlling everything. How do I know some aliens are controlling everything? Like, so what do they look like? LOL, ha 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 type of stuff. I mean, whatever. Because at the end of the day, the New World Order is in full effect. And what you don't know, or what you need to know, is that the New World Order has nothing to do with the group of elite families controlling the population, because they already do that. The New World Order is basically about eliminating and killing you so that they can have the surface of the planet to themselves without having dumb Americans blocking their way, and dumb people on the surface of the planet in general blocking their way. And when I say their way, I'm talking about a group of extraterrestrial beings, as I said before. Now, many of you, when I talked about a group of reptilians that live within the earth, people think this shit is a joke, and it's not a joke. This is real. This is real, and I come before you today because I'm going to provide you a piece of research and information from someone that lost their life giving out this information way back in 1996. This man was murdered and lost his life giving out this information. But before I do that, I first want to go into why the modern man and woman is so ignorant to the fact of extraterrestrials. And this is because you've been isolated from this information, especially you Americans. You've been isolated from this information. But if you go into ancient culture and you study ancient culture, I don't care if it's the Mayans, the Dogons, I don't care what ancient culture it is, the ancient Asians. If you study the information that these ancient cultures put out, they all definitely dealt with an extraterrestrial race or a group of beings. Some of them call them the Anunnaki, some of them call them the Nephilim, some of them call them different names, the Orishas or whatever they want to call them. But at the end of the day, they all dealt with an extraterrestrial race that was basically in control of the planet. But at some point in time, this extraterrestrial race, what they did was that they created what some people are called, or what some people know as demigods. But what these demigods were really extraterrestrial hybrids. And these extraterrestrial hybrids acted as their sons of God. So in the Bible, when you hear about the sons of God, these are your hybrids that stood in the place of these extraterrestrials, because some of the extraterrestrials either went back to their planet, some of them went underground, and it was a reason for that. So they left their demigods. I'm not going to go into that information right now, but they left their demigods, or their hybrids is a modern word for demigods, which is basically a human that is part extraterrestrial. That is part extraterrestrial, and they were made kings and pharaohs and rulers over the mortals. And even in the Bible, they deal with the mortals, because the mortals were called Enosites. That there was a biblical figure in the Bible. His name was Enos. And if you look up the term Enos, Enos means mortal. So your Enosites were your mortals, or those that didn't have the extraterrestrial bloodline, or what you would call the elite bloodline. See, the elite bloodline is really an extraterrestrial bloodline. So these Enosites didn't have that bloodline, so they were basically looked at as peasants, sheep. Same way you guys are looked at today, those that don't have this certain bloodline or whatever, looked at as peasants and sheep and things of that nature. And these demigods or these hybrids that had the bloodline in them ruled over the mortals. You see, that they ruled over the mortals, and they were put into place as kings, and this was to take place for 6,000 years. And they set up religions, and this is where you get your religious schools of thought from. They all go back to your demigods who set up these religions as forms and purposes of mind control, which is the same thing that the MK Ultra is today. But these were religious systems of mind control that were set up to keep the mortals and the humans at bay, while the demigods ruled over them, and extraterrestrials gave orders, because it was easier to give orders to one person or demigod versus, like pretty much like initiating the whole masses of the population into this type of information. So everybody wasn't privy to this type of information, and most people lost the knowledge of the extraterrestrial beings, or what you would call the Anunnaki, or in the Bible they call them the Nephilim, or the Elohim, or whatever you want to call them. These were a group of extraterrestrial beings that, like I said, left a group of demigods in charge or whatever, while they took care of their business on their home planets, and while they went back into the center of the earth. Now, these extraterrestrial beings have lived in the center of the earth long before humans came into existence. These extraterrestrial beings, some of them got here before there was even any humans here. They've been coming to this planet for millions of years, and this is nothing new. But the thing is that the reason why it's about to be a shock now is because they are coming back. They want to take control of the surface of the planet Earth, and they want to initiate those that are on the surface of the planet Earth, or not even just those, but they want to put them in concentration camps, and they want to initiate the rulers and those that are on the surface of the planet Earth into the Intergalactic Confederation, which is basically a confederation of different extraterrestrials. I know this sounds very much like Star Trek, but this is real. I mean, they have an intergalactic confederation that's already been set up, and the thing is that humans on the surface know nothing of it, because 6,000 years ago they left the surface of the earth and left certain people in charge, and they dumbed you down, and there was a reason why they did all of this. They dumbed you down, and now it's time for them to come back. See, the aliens are returning. So this is what they talk about when many of you know about the return of the ancient ones. When they deal with the return of the ancient ones, this is dealing with the return of the aliens. You see, so that's the ancient aspect of what I wanted to submit today, as far as these underground cities have already been carved out. They've been here for thousands upon thousands of years. The aliens had higher sophisticated technology, even the pyramids and things of that nature. This is the reason why you guys, as far as the humans, cannot figure out how to build pyramids, is because they were built by aliens and the underground civilizations that are up under the pyramids, and they have an underground network that connects South America to Africa, to Europe, to Antarctica. I mean, all of this stuff is like basically like connected or whatever through an underground system and a network. And I'm going to prove this to you, because a modern researcher who was, like I said, killed for giving this information, he was one of the, he was basically a mineralogist and an engineer, and his name was Phil Schneider. And he took place in the Dulce Wars, or it was basically called the Dulce Wars, D-U-L-C-E. And basically the Dulce Wars took place under Mexico, in Dulce, Mexico. And what happened was that he got into a war or a fight with a group of reptilians, and his hand got blown off. And he even, I mean, if you can go Google this information, I'm not making this up. His hand got blown off or whatever by these extraterrestrial beings or whatever. He was actually a part of a black ops program, and he actually gives out a lot of information. I'll give you some of his research and information on this video, but one of the things he talks about is that the government is putting like about $1 trillion, and this was back in 1996 before he died, so I don't know how much it is now, but they were putting over $1 trillion every 2 years, or like $500 billion like every year or whatever, into this black ops program or whatever. And this black ops program was designed to build a group and a system of military bases, and at that time when he gave this information, it was 131 underground military bases that are under the ground that the American population knows nothing about. And this man was took part in constructing these bases, and in the process of him constructing these bases, they dug too deep. And when they dug too deep, what happened was that they dug, and they basically were digging over a reptilian's cave or a reptilian's home, and he basically was exposed to a 7-foot tall reptilian. And from that point, he got into a gunfight with this reptilian, and the reptilian shot a laser beam at him. And the only reason why the guy survived is because he had a group of special forces people bail him out of the underground base or whatever. And it was 66 agents that fought these aliens, and I'm sorry, 69 agents or whatever, or Black Ops agents that fought these reptilians, and the only people that survived were 3 people, and he was one of the 3 people. The other 2 people were put in the nursing homes. So altogether, 69 people. Out of 69 people, the aliens killed 66, and only 3 people survived, and he was one of them. And he was the only one living to talk about it, and they put them in nursing homes and isolated the other groups of people that survived or whatnot. So, I mean, he talked about that there were 1,477, now this is back in 1990, and keep in mind, but he said there were 1,477 underground military bases worldwide. And he talked about how the government, or the Black Ops government, had made pacts with aliens or whatever, and they basically exchanged technology with aliens in exchange for humans, as far as, because these aliens like to eat humans, as I talked about. These aliens like to not only eat humans, but they get high off of the adrenal glands of humans. So like your adrenaline, they actually get high off of that. So when they kill and sacrifice a human, there's a lot of adrenaline that takes place, and these aliens get high off of this adrenaline. And that's one of the reasons why they like the adrenaline or whatever, as far as from the humans or whatever. So, I mean, not making this stuff up. I mean, the research is out there. People think that someone's crazy, but it's like, at the end of the day, you're going to be the one that's going to be looked at as being crazy, because these aliens want to take control of the surface of the earth, and they pretty much almost took in control of the surface of the earth for the most part or whatever. But they want to have this done by like the year 2029, according to Phil Schneider or whatever. Like they want to have this whole thing done by the year 2029. Now, they already have sophisticated and elaborate cities built with the help of the military up underground, and the military is working in cahoots. I'm talking about the Black Ops military now, are working in cahoots with these aliens, and they've built sophisticated train systems. They can get from one part of the planet to another part of the planet within 8 hours. Believe it or not, they can get from America all the way over to Australia within 8 hours or whatever. I mean, they don't need to fly planes and things of that nature. So it's basically, like I said in another video, the Illuminati doesn't need your money. They already have money. Basically, the only thing they're doing is just putting the icing on the cake before they can prepare for the alien takeover, because basically eventually the aliens are going to come and they're going to take over the surface of the planet Earth. And many people think this is a game, but it's basically going to happen, and it's basically a long-term plan that's been being planned out for over 100 years, and we're basically coming into the grand finale of it right now. So, I mean, I just basically put this video out for people that are the naysayers and people that are laughing, thinking this stuff is a game. There's people out here losing their lives for this information, and you should really do some research. I mean, it's really not too much you can really do about it, because like most people are ignorant and they don't want to get into the spiritual sciences and things of that nature, and there is no physical solution to getting out of this. You have to get into the spiritual sciences and getting in tune with your higher self to figure out exactly how to keep these aliens away from you, because like most people don't even realize that these aliens are controlling every aspect of your life. And if you don't know how to keep them away from you, you don't know how to get into certain spiritual rituals and things of that nature, and if you don't have a pact with certain other extraterrestrial beings, because there's more than just disagreeable extraterrestrials. There are agreeable extraterrestrials that you can form a pact with that will protect you, because all aliens aren't disagreeable, but I'm talking about a certain species of aliens that like to eat humans, and this is the aliens that the government is mostly working with, because these aliens gave them technology and they made a pact with them. Now, the other aliens that are agreeable, some of these aliens, you can't even see them. These aliens are invisible. They don't have physical shells. They can take on any form at any time, and they can materialize. And I know this sounds rather Star Trek-y, but the thing is that you're dealing with a 6,000-year-old history, where you have been educated about this stuff in school or whatever, but so you're not dealing with the ancient doctrine of like the Egyptians and the Mayans who knew about these things. See, the Mayans didn't just disappear. The Mayans got in tune with a higher race of beings. Same thing with the Egyptians. They didn't build the pyramids on their own. They were in tune with a higher race of beings, and this is how they were able to do such things. Like, I mean, it's even research now coming out that the Vril Society and Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich were tied into a group of extraterrestrial beings, and this is how they were able to do what they did. So there are a group of extraterrestrial beings out there. They're controlling the underground already, and they're coming to take control of the surface of the planet Earth. I gave you plenty of research. You need to continue to do your own research. Don't believe me? Check this stuff out for yourself. And until we meet again, peace and love.